Hello, my name is Steve Wanders. I'm the Assistant Director of Cooperative Education in the Office of Professional Practice, and I'm here today to tell you about how you can experience your future. The Office of Professional Practice was founded over 60 years ago to facilitate experiential education and serve as a bridge between the academic units and industry. And while we began in the College of Engineering, today we have active co-op programs in 45 different majors across 8 of the 10 colleges at the university, including co-op and internship programs in the Purdue Polytechnic Institute. Our office is served by 8 full-time staff led by Director Eckerd Grohl, the Riley Professor of Mechanical Engineering. I'd encourage you to introduce yourself to Ms. Tina Alsop, who's our Student Information Coordinator. She will serve as your primary point of contact for our office. You know, many of our employers tell us about how important it is that students have meaningful work experience on their resume. So in addition to doing a great job selling yourself at your interview, having a resume with meaningful work experience is vitally important. Our surveys suggest that students with experience have a much better chance of getting a job and being engaged in that work after they graduate. In fact, many of our co-op students go on to work for their co-op employers upon graduation. So I'd like to tell you a bit about our co-op programs. First of all, what is co-op at Purdue? Well, co-op is a work-integrated plan of study during which you can gain between 12 and 22 months of work experience. And we have over 180 active employers that serve our students in the Purdue Polytechnic Institute. Our 5-session co-op program is our flagship program. Typically, you are recruited to this program during your first year. After your grades come out in fall semester, if you have above a 2.8 GPA, you'll be invited to our call-outs in February. From there, you'll go through the recruiting process and start work as soon as the summer after your first year, and then work and go to school in alternate semesters until you complete 5 work rotations, typically 2 summers and then 3 during the fall or spring. At the bottom of the slide are a couple different alternatives for that alternating schedule. And it does take 5 years to graduate, but I'll tell you a bit more about how that works. The 3-session co-op program is an alternative for students who aren't quite sure they want to make that commitment as early as their first year. Also, we have a lot of employers who elect to participate in the 3-session co-op program because of the added flexibility it provides. It essentially works the same way. Eligibility for that program is a 2.6 minimum GPA, and you begin after your sophomore year. Otherwise, it works essentially the same way, working and going to school in alternate semesters until you complete 3 rotations. You can actually complete that program in 4.5 years, depending on how you use your summers and if you take advantage of distance learning opportunities. Now, for the financial implications. I mentioned that it takes 5 years to graduate. The important thing to recognize, however, is that you're only paying 4 years of tuition. However, you do register for a 0-credit co-op course when you're off on work rotation, for which there is a $400 registration fee. But again, while it takes 5 years to graduate, you're not paying any more than 8 semesters of tuition for your time on campus. Additionally, the income earned during an accredited co-op program is not counted against your income for purposes of financial aid calculations. Furthermore, you're paid handsomely for your work. The figures on the right indicate 2 things. First of all, for both the 5 and the 3-session programs, the middle column are guidelines that we provide to our employers. Those percentages are a percent of a entry-level position with that company that you could expect to earn during your work sessions 1 through 3 or 1 through 5. The figures on the right are actual figures from surveys taken by Polytechnic students who have completed co-op rotations and report back to us their salary history. Our internship program is an alternative to co-op, and it's important to understand the difference. While I define co-op as a long-term relationship between a student and a single employer with repeated work sessions and an alternating pattern, internship is typically a one-time work opportunity with an employer, typically during the summer, but it can be during the fall or spring as well. At this time, I'd like to introduce you to Joshua Campbell, one of our outstanding co-op students in the Purdue Polytechnic Institute.
Hello, my name is Joshua Campbell. I'm a third-year student in Aeronautical Engineering Technology, and I'm a co-op student with GE Aviation. My first rotation was in Cincinnati, Ohio. I worked at the Additive Lean Lab, and this was a great experience to learn how GE is using additive manufacturing for production purposes. And my most recent co-op rotation has been my most beneficial. And I worked at Dayton Cores and Castings in Dayton, Ohio. And one of my favorite projects there was working with the tool builders. I got to see all different parts of the tool build process, from design, tool build letter, and also the production of the tool. And the design, I got the opportunity to create a 3D CAD model of a tool that they needed for in-house use. And the tool build letter, through that experience, I just got to learn what that was, how it's used to communicate between the engineer and the tool build maker for whatever the design need is. And for the production, I got to work in their in-house tool build shop and create the tool from my design. It was a great experience. And before I go, I'd like to leave you with 3 reasons why you should consider doing a co-op. Internships are wonderful, but I think the co-op experience stands out because it gives you the distinct opportunity to work with the company over time and gain a lot more experience with that company while you're still in college. My second reason is because as the company is investing in you and seeing if you are a good fit for the company, you are doing the same for them. You're seeing if you like the corporate culture, see if you like the work that you do with that company, and gives you a chance to try before you buy, so to speak. And lastly, as was mentioned, the co-ops are paid. So as you work for the company, you are being compensated. And it's a way to help you minimize debt while you're in college, and overall makes it a great experience. Thank you very much, and I'll hand it back to Stephen.
Thanks, Joshua. Now that you know about the benefits of co-op, let's get started. As mentioned, eligible students will be invited to our call-out, which is scheduled for January 13th. Then during late January and early February, we'll have some workshops to help you prepare for the interview days scheduled in February. Working with CCO, we've got opportunities for you to refine your resume as well as prepare for interviews through mock interviews. Then during the period of February 16th through 18th, we'll have our professional practice days, beginning with an all-day career fair on Tuesday and then full days of interviews on Wednesday and Thursday. Following the interviews, employers will go through their co-op selection process, and as I mentioned, you'll go to work right away in May or perhaps begin in August of the fall semester. I would encourage you to take a look at our website. There's a lot of information in there about the details of our programs, as well as information about the employers that are engaged in our co-op programs. Feel free to give us a call and speak with us about questions you may have, or better yet, stop by the office. We'd be glad to chat with you about your interest in co-op. We hope to see you in co-op. Best of luck to you, and thanks for your time.